Greetings, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Critical Podcast. My name is Jimmy Good, and I'm your host. And joining me this week is one of my go-to podcast compadres, Mr. Levi Fletcher. Levi, how are you doing, buddy?
Hey, guys. Doing good. How's it going, Jimmy?
Just fine. Thank you so much. I don't even know how to talk about it. E3 has just happened. We've just gotten past it. And it's crazy to be on the other end. You know, you start, thinking about all the things that could be, and then now we know. We are all knowing of all the stuff from E3 for the most part. But yeah, for anybody who's joining us for the first time, we do talk games a lot here, but movies, TV, all the stuff we really do love. So let's, before we get into E3, talk about something that's kind of a big deal. So everybody's heard about the Disney acquisition of Fox. There's a lot of money moving around, and there's a lot of Disney's offering up stock to Fox, to buy them out. A lot of their kind of commercial things, and there's just a lot moving, like many moving parts, I should say. However, Comcast is like, hey, man, you know what? Forget that. We're going to give you guys $65 billion, straight up to take this stuff, which is pretty nuts. And we don't know exactly how it's going to go down. Seems like Fox wants to sell to Disney. And speaking to one of our lawyer friends, Mr. Rick Hogue, he had said that, talking about fiduciary duty where, as Fox shareholders, you have to think about, well, what's best for them? Levi, is this nuts to you that Comcast is coming in and just from an entertainment perspective being like, hey, maybe we want X-Men and stuff. Keep it away from Disney. Keeping all this other stuff from Disney.
I don't know why. I mean, let them do it. They know how to do it. Let them do it.
Yeah.
I feel like it's very bizarre.
I wonder if it's asset denial. And obviously we look at it from more of an entertainment perspective where it's oh, what could they get out of it that we would like to see? But there's a lot of other stuff that we don't necessarily hear about or talk about too much that might be what they're actually going for. And it could be used as a really super massive bargaining chip if Comcast has this stuff over Disney. It's I hope it doesn't happen. And it seems like they're setting up for a really big, crazy showdown between Comcast and Disney over Fox. It's almost like two predators, and there's another it used to be a predator, but it's dying, and it's hey man, you can have my carcass. And then Comcast is wait a second, I want the carcass. And then Disney's no. He said I could have it. So yeah. I'm interested to see how that all goes down, but we'll know in the weeks and months.
I mean, it's not like we're going to get a Comcast customer exclusive X-Men show.
Yeah, that would be weird.
Nobody likes shit.
Yeah, exactly. Again, for me, all I'm caring about is just Fantastic Four and X-Men, just get them back and all this other stuff. They're Predator and Alien. I'm come on. But Disney can do so well with it.
We're going to get some CW fucking Fantastic Four garbage.
I don't know. That would be, I don't know if they could do that or if they, oh my gosh. Even though, by the way, side note, I've been watching CW lately, the superhero stuff. I like it. I really do. I really do like the CW stuff. It keeps me entertained. It's on Netflix though, so I'm just
CW is not bad. It's just fun to poke fun of because they don't have the biggest budget, and that's where a lot of shows go to die.
They make a lot with what they got, man. They do the best with what they can. And some of the effects are actually pretty good. Some of it actually looks better than some of the stuff I've seen on actual movies and things. I'm oh, wow, that's actually, they tried. Anyway, neither here nor there. I just want to touch on it for a second because it is a big flipping deal. Anyway, let's just get right into it. Why wait any longer? Let's get to the meat of the podcast, the main topic, E3. Now, instead of going through and kind of saying who had the best show and all of that, I wanted to just talk about what are the things that we are the most excited about? What are the things we remember the most fondly and maybe not so fondly? So, Levi, I want you to start, man. I want you to just give me just one thing. If it's a game, if it's part of a show that you really liked, what is something that really stuck with you after kind of, checking out E3 this year?
Pokemon.
Oh, yeah. That's a little indie game, right?
Yep. Very indie game. From a little publisher named Nintendo.
Perfect. I barely heard of that. Anyways, okay, I'm guessing you're talking about Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee,
Absolutely.
Right? Okay.
After watching the demo, I am hooked, baby.
So, yeah, they had a pretty long Treehouse demo after the actual show, which I will say Nintendo spent a lot of time talking about that, which I thought was kind of strange. Because we had a week or two ago, they actually had a reveal trailer and all that stuff. Did you think that was odd at all, Levi? Actually in the show, Reggie pulls out the Pokeball and he's hey, you can have one of these. You can buy it. I was why are you wasting our time? Don't do
Here
it.
you go, kiddos. No, I don't know. Yeah, I thought that was weird. I really liked the sit-down demo, Treehouse demo. That was pretty cool where they just talked about it. and answered a lot of questions I had going into it, like how does evolving work, how does transfers work, how does it work connecting to Pokemon Go. Buddy system is great. Fights look, I mean, they kept the traditional fights, so I'm happy about that.
So it seems like what they were saying is that when you go and play this to level up Pokemon, if you're actually not in a trainer battle, you're just catching them kind of like you do just in Pokemon Go, and they will gain experience from that. So everybody in your team of 6, even though they don't fight, they do gain experience, which I guess kind of works. And they said, like, somebody on the Treehouse demo said, oh yeah, there are actual people in Pokemon, like the actual shows in the anime, that have caught Pokemon without battling them. So there's kind of a precedent, which I was like, okay, sure. But still, it seems
I was like,
weird.
wow, you're gonna go there. But I'm like, I respect that. I respect that a lot.
So what is it about this now that after you've seen this, like you kind of talked about a few things, but is there any one thing in particular that you're just like, oh my gosh, like this is so nice to see this?
I mean, if I had seen a little bit more from Halo, I would have been more on board with Halo. A glimpse of the action.
I meant like Pokemon wise.
Oh, Pokemon wise. Oh, I think it was super cool that we get to go back to Kanto again. I love that they're doing a remake. The remake looks cute. It looks good in 3D. You get to see 3D Pokemon out in the world. Yeah.
Well, that's the thing. I don't know if they're really calling it a remake. You know, it's kind of like a spiritual successor, because they're not calling it like Pokemon Red or Green or Blue 2 or anything like that.
I mean, it's literally going to follow in the footsteps of Pokemon Yellow. Many more nods to the anime, though. So I'm really digging that.
Sure. Well, I think it's kind of a gateway for people who really got into Pokemon Go, especially a younger generation who want to play this. And it sounds like a lot of the systems built into this, like the XP share, like dropping in a buddy to help you out on 2-on-1 trainer battles, is set up for people who aren't used to Pokemon and want someone else to get in there and help them out, which is like, okay, I get that. So it's not the core Pokemon RPG that I was hoping to hear about. I wanted to hear about that this year, and I'm surprised we didn't get anything from it. Did you want to hear anything?
I did, but I know Nintendo, and I know that they're going to keep it up their sleeves for next year.
Nintendo, man, they're just holding that Metroid Prime, like that Star Fox thing.
I mean, they have a big year this year with games, so I mean, they're going to load up their deck again for next year, and we're going to see all that.
Well, I think mostly for Nintendo, at least from my perspective, as far as like really big games go, it's kind of like they're doing 2 a year. This year, it seems like it's going to be Smash, which we'll get into in just a second, and Pokemon or Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee coming out in November and December. Flip those respectively, but they're coming out later this year, so it's like, okay, I mean, that's where they're kind of the biggest.
I mean, Mario Party, what a great system to put it on, a handheld system like the Switch. I mean, it's
we can go
do.
We can go play it while we're camping, because we just go camp and play some Mario Party, and we're gonna strategize, be like, all right, for this next mini game, I'm gonna go left, you go right, like.
Or fly all the way to Florida Disney and just spend the whole time in the hotel room just playing Mario Party.
You're not going to do that. Anyway, it's a tease for later on, everybody. Anyway.
You're going to vlog me doing it, you guys.
Super Smash Brothers. I just want to touch on it quickly, because I don't know if you're going to talk about it as one of your top 3 games. Are you?
Top 5, baby.
Oh, top 5?
Top 5, baby.
Okay, well, we might as well talk about it for a second then. Smash Brothers. Why are you actually excited about Smash Brothers? Because honestly, right now, it just looks like it's pretty much the same stuff we've seen before.
That roster.
What do you mean that roster?
That roster, baby. It's got everybody. Everybody's favorites are back.
Everybody? Like
Pokemon Trainer.
How about Pichu?
No. Don't care about Pichu.
How about Snake?
Pichu's fun to beat up.
You got Snake. How about Wolf?
Snake's cool. Wolf is okay.
I just mean like they're all back, is what I was trying to say. It's like that was the big thing for this one. It's like every character they've ever had in Smash is going to be in this game.
I mean, I'm really happy because the Switch has done so well. So that was my thought, last March, is how is Smash gonna look? And it's gonna be so much fun. Having it portable and just being able to take it wherever you go. Play right with your friends when you see them.
Yeah.
Fuck it. I'll play Smash camping. I don't care.
I feel like with Smash, it has hit kind of like the peak, or maybe I'm not going to say like technically where Brawl hit its peak, but when I see this, it does just look like what Smash has always been, and it's just adding, which is totally fine. So maybe this will be like the last big Smash.
Which is why I made the mistake of calling it what did I call it? A port. It's not a port. It's a brand new, and I feel like it would mean less to me if the Wii didn't do as horrible as it did. Just because they put so much work into bringing Smash to Wii U, and it's so sad because nobody played it. And a very small group of fans, and now everybody's gonna play it because everybody's got a Switch now.
Yep. Well, that's I think one of the biggest things. They did do a lot of work making new characters, I think, for the Wii U version. So they're like, well, let's put all of them in, and they're like, why don't we just like do all of this? And they are making updates to it now. When people say do a deep dive, Nintendo did a serious deep dive in their direct about Smash. It was like a 15-minute thing.
It was like 25 minutes.
Oh,
25 minutes.
And it was, if you haven't watched it and you are a Smash fan, you should check it out. If you aren't a Smash fan, don't watch it because you'll hate it. But it's just like, they're talking about how like shielding. They're like, well, if you do it right now, you can do like a perfect shield. And they're like getting into all that stuff, like how you can do like air dashes to the side or air dodges. I was like, wow, they're really getting in.
Really going in depth, yeah.
And when they did that, I was like,
their audience cares about that stuff. The people that care about Smash, that play it in tournaments, care about that shit. That's their core audience. When
I saw that, though, I was worried. Well, I knew that I was like, oh, this is all Nintendo has this year. Like, that's when they showed that. There's some other stuff. I'm not going to say Fire Emblem, 3 houses or whatever, houses 3 or whatever. That's kind of a cool thing, too. But I felt like when they were showing so much that I was like, oh, they aren't showing Metroid. They're not showing the Pokemon Core RPG thing. You know, they're not going to show that Star Fox racing game. So I was like, which was fine because I'm a big fan of Smash, or I was in the past, and like I've told a lot of people, Smash kind of peaked for me when I was a kid, just because the cool thing about Smash was like sitting in the same room with your buddies and playing the game. Like that was what was so cool about Nintendo consoles in general. Now that you could still do that with Switch, like I could come over probably and play it, with my Switch, play against you. But yeah, I mean, I'm interested to see it. I'm happy to see all the characters back. It was cool to see Mewtwo like right away in the beginning. I was like, oh, Mewtwo, cool. I love Mewtwo. So yeah. Also,
and we're gonna get some secret characters too, so that's gonna be fun.
Well,
we always do.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they have like. So they have. I was gonna say Samus can charge in the air now with their blaster shot, which I was really excited about. But Ridley, being the big, bad for the new one. The one character they didn't show though, Levi. Well, the two. You wanted Sora, right? I wanted Banjo. Maybe they could still show up. Who knows? They kind of said in that direct that they were hoping that just because all of them were returning, that there wouldn't be the want as much for new characters. But I don't care how many times you make Smash. Every time you do it, everyone's going to ask the same thing: who's the new roster going to be comprised of? It's just like Ice Climbers even back. I'm like, oh gosh, they are the Ice Climbers.
We're definitely going to get some new players, and I really hope they don't lay it out. I wasn't a big fan of the DLC rollout for Smash on the Wii U. I'm hoping it's a lot different this time around.
Yeah, well, now you've got Cloud just bundled in.
Love Cloud. I loved his kit. I know he's like a kind of a Roy Marth kind of, he's got a lot of mix-up kits into him, but I liked him.
Also, it's a deep dive when they're talking about the Wii Fit trainer's face being changed because it wasn't indicative or whatever. They wanted to up it, and I was like, wow, we are really getting into this. I was like, guys, we gotta stop. Also, the Echo characters, which basically just means clone characters, and Daisy kind of being like a new Echo character, even though they're saying like Marth and Lucina are kind of already like that. So I was like, okay, Daisy. I'm like, they could just be a skin. But, I mean,
did we need the Wii trainer to move over when it's on the Switch? Did we need that? I don't think we needed it.
Everybody loves. There's I bet there's some a few hardcore Wii Fit trainer players that want that.
I liked her. Okay, she had a cool kit. I liked her abilities. I just hated her. She was dumb. The look of her character was so stupid. Yeah, I love the heel. I loved that major chic bash she does. I mean, she had a cool kit.
Wait, what's a chic bash?
She had just a big power up move that was OP.
Oh.
And it was awesome. But
if I could see her eyes pop out of her head like they're showing Donkey Kong, they're like, hey, here's Donkey Kong getting hit in 4 different ways or whatever, more expressive faces. If her eyes pop out like Donkey Kong's, I'm in. I'll be like, all right.
Pikachu just dying.
Yeah. I was dang. Yeah. And I think, one of the reasons why that Smash is going to be this way moving forward is that they have a new version of Link in this game. There's a few tweaks to him, and they kind of put Cappy's eyes on Mario or whatever. But I don't think there were enough brand new kind of characters or change ups to their characters to say, hey, let's use our base 20, 30 roster, and then we'll pick and choose from this next 10. I think it was we don't have that many, So let's just go with this for right now, and then we'll add, characters. So
Yeah.
we'll see.
Did we get a release date?
Yes, December 7th, I think it is.
Wow, right near Christmas.
Yeah, the thing is, it's a really stacked fall, and it's 2 weeks after, I think, Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. And they said available, and then it just held. And I was like, are they going to shadow drop this right now? And then it was like December. And I was like, okay. I was like, that would have been incredible. They would have just been like, and you can download it right now. Be like,
this Christmas is going to be a huge seller for Switch. It's going to be sold out. All the bundles, everything's going to be sold out.
Well, I might pick up if they have a cute little Pikachu, Switch bundle, maybe I'll indulge.
No, you need to have a Switch in your hands ready to go for Pokemon. When it releases.
Levi, why?
When it releases.
Fine, maybe we'll see. I don't know. I'm like the boring guy who likes the regular.
It's gonna be fun. I hate fun. I'm Jimmy.
I just want the gray Joy-Cons. I don't need the blue and the red, which also lends credence to the fact that you just said I hate fun. I just like this plain. I don't like the blue and the red.
Oh, I like the neon. The neon ones are cool. Like the green neon ones. Yeah.
You know what Nintendo should do if they're not doing it yet? Do what Microsoft is doing. PlayStation used to do this too. Customizable controllers. Just give me like a different color for those. I could pick like
it'll happen.
Red and gray for critical reviews or something. Even though
I'm looking it up. Do they have Pokemon Joy-Con controllers?
If they don't, they will. Anyway, well, that's pretty much all from Nintendo. And okay, so basically, you talked about you said your 5. I was going to do top 3, but I mean, we can do 5 if you really want to. I'll just have to be quick about it. Anyway, I'm going to jump over to Ubisoft for a second. And I think Ubisoft had a great show. They had a lot of fun stuff in there. One thing I will say, they didn't show my boy, Sam Fisher. Splinter Cell never came up. Really hurts, but it's okay. Gamescom's coming. It's fine. Everybody just relax. Okay. But I will say this. I think Skull and Bones had a really cool showing. And I'm actually interested in that. Like, I was interested last year, but I was hesitant because I was like, oh, just showing the PvP stuff. I was worried that was all it was going to be. This year, what they did instead is they showed off kind of you were by yourself and you were hunting basically other pirate ships, because in Skull and Bones, you basically have a pirate ship. But at the beginning, there's like you were the captain, and I think you were like walking around in third person, like at your like pirate lair, for lack of a better term. And they were like got on the ship, they like customized the steering wheel, they were changing out different cannons and stuff, they had different stats and things. I was like, wow, this is really cool, really in depth. I was like, whoa. And so they went out, they were hunting, they were doing this stuff, and then it got to be a little bit too much for them, so they could call in friends. And I'm not sure if they like had to shoot off a flare, or if they invited people, or people can just seamlessly come into your world. But let's just say Levi just showed up with Joe, and then you guys could help me take down a bigger, tougher ship. And then we could all either split the gold from that, or you could all turn on each other. And I was like, oh, I could see that being like, if Joe's got a really powerful ship, but he took most of the damage, like I could see that being exciting if we weren't friends, like I feel
How
like
close is this to Sea of Thieves?
How close is it? What do you mean?
Yeah, like compared, how close are they to the same kind of game?
So Sea of Thieves, and that's kind of the interesting part of it. Sea of Thieves is in a different space, as Sea of Thieves kind of like first person first off, and that's like, walking around on land, and there's like digging up treasure and fighting skeletons. This is primarily just naval combat that I know of right now, and it's focused primarily and only on that. So the mechanics are so much deeper. And I think, another thing you got to remember too, that Sea of Thieves has against it comparatively to something like this. Skull and Bones, that team from Singapore has been working on this naval combat for Assassin's Creed, which it's been pulled from, since like Assassin's Creed 3 or 4 or something like that. It's been a long time. So they've had a lot to refine, and they've made it better and better and better. Even though I will say that naval combat back in Assassin's Creed 3, oh boy, it was still pretty good. So yeah, it's primarily like you're kind of in control of your ship and fighting against other ships and kind of taking them down. Now, in the PvP we saw last year, it seemed like there were different, like there's like a frigate, there's a brig, different classes of ships, but I'm not sure now if it's like you and I, Levi, start off with the same base ship, and then we kind of like tweak it depending, because it seems like you can change out like the guns and other armaments depending on what you want to go and fight. Like if you're like, oh, I really should like make sure I've got like a really good ram on the front of mine for this next fight. I don't know if those are interchangeable, but like your cannons, your mortars and things like that, those are going to play into it a lot. And I'm really excited about it because I think it looks sweet. I just can't wait. Oh man, like because
I feel a little weird about not being able to get off your ship.
Sure, I understand that too. I'm not sure. We'll see what the single player is like, because a lot of times, I will say this, and I just beat Assassin's Creed Rogue, and Assassin's Creed Black Flag is probably one of my favorite Assassin's Creeds. But I say Assassin's Creed anyway. I kind of like the boat stuff almost more than the stuff on land. The stuff on land is refreshing and a nice change of pace. It provides a nice dichotomy. However, I think that, if they make it compelling enough and it's fun enough for us to be out there, especially together, and if what we're trying to get gold for actually means something, then I'm in. Because unlike Sea of Thieves, it seems like in this game, hopefully when you purchase things, it'll be more meaningful or at least cosmetic, and that you can actually see it. My issue with Sea of Thieves is like you would get all this gold and all this stuff to buy yourself like a shirt, but it's first person, so you couldn't see it unless you did like an emote or something. And it was like, like it just seems so stupid. It's not really compelling to me, and you never really got to change your boat or do anything crazy with that. So I'm really excited about Skull and Bones. I think other people should be too. I think it's gonna be one of those games that's really, really thrilling, and weirdly, I know this might sound really dumb because I'm not really into this sort of thing, but the way they kind of narrated over the top of this, I don't remember who's saying this, but they're saying that like it felt kind of like an esport. I would kind of like to watch a few matches of like Skull and Bones esports. Like they're like, oh, he's coming around, he's going around the island. Oh my gosh, he's getting in range with like the long guns. To be like, like
about to fire the cannons, about to fire the cannons. Oh, and there goes the cannons.
Yeah. Exactly. Oh my goodness, they're taking on water. Yeah, but it just looks really cool. And I'm also hoping that you can customize your captains, because it looked like there were different captains that were like, I don't know if they're playable, but like maybe you get to pick like a base and then you get to dress them up and all that stuff. So if you've ever liked the naval combat in any Assassin's Creed game, it's like just that, at least for now. It did get delayed, however. I think, when is it coming? It got delayed out into 2019, I think, or 2020. Totally fine. Let it cook. I think they probably saw what happened with Sea of Thieves, and they didn't want to be like the next pirate game to disappoint everybody. So like, just take your time, Ubisoft. Let it cook, man, because when that pie comes out, oh baby, I can't wait. I can't wait to get back on the open seas. Oh my gosh, I seriously adore the naval combat in those games, and I will play the hardest stupid missions, and I have in Rogue and Black Flag, like the hardest boss fights, until I beat them, and it's just like, oh, so rewarding when you do.
I'll be down if they can do it right.
Yeah, I need you, man. You gotta be like a pirate. We can maybe name our ships. Be great.
I thought Sea of Thieves looked really cool, and I remember playing Black Flag, and I liked Black Flag a lot. But Sea of Thieves looked fine, except like as far as like the boating. But then once I stepped on land, I'm like, who designed this?
Yeah, it just got really
$60. Nobody wants shit.
Yeah, exactly. I just was hoping, for more, and I hope that's not the same case with Skull and Bones. I hope it's not like, well, is it just like this, like 2 or 3 modes and that's it? Like, I hope there's like a pretty cool like single player element to it all, and I hope there's a lot of depth of just like pirate history and stuff. It just seems really cool. And also, we're going to the Indian Ocean. It's not the Caribbean, which is, it is different. It might not seem like it at first, but it is different. So yeah, I'm really hopeful for Skull and Bones. I think it's got a positive future, I hope. Anyway, all right, Levi, that's enough about me talking about Skull and Bones. I want you to hit me with another just highlight for you, baby. What's another game that just really spoke to you?
Okay, I had to pull up the list because there's so many games coming out.
I know there's a ton of freaking games. It doesn't have to be this year though. Like, E3, they talked about a lot of stuff that's in 2019.
I'm excited for Kingdom Hearts 3.
Why?
Because it looks great, man.
Is that one of your top? I
want to take a Disney ride and beat the crap out of Sephiroth with it. Like,
I mean, that's great. But is it one of the ones that's like was really gotcha? Because like they showed it at every press conference, like almost every press conference.
I know. I feel like if they don't release it, I'll be really pissed.
I think Bethesda even showed it. No, I'm just kidding. They did.
Fallout 76.
Okay, why are you excited about Fallout 76? They had a huge blowout and talk about Fallout 76.
So I like Fallout 76 because Fallout 4 was fantastic. And if this is 4 times bigger than Fallout 4, it's insane. That's so much map to cover, and that's so much fun. Fallout has a lot of really fun stuff going for it. Building anywhere, playing with your friends. They've got some really cool ideas coming here. This multiplayer, this MMO aspect, plus still being able to hold on. It's not like Elder Scrolls Online. Okay, that's what I was nervous about. I was like, is this like Elder Scrolls Online where you're gonna tell me I'm in a first-person game and then like, no, this is legit. You can still play this first person and do this multiplayer. Down. Down, down, down. And you're giving me a release date of November. Down. Love that.
Okay, so you're down because it's like Fallout 4, but with friends.
Yeah, absolutely. Give it to me. New area, new quests, new story, different vault. Like I think it's gonna be so fantastic.
Sure. Who's gonna play with you?
Myself, okay?
So you're gonna play with nobody.
Critical reviews is a bunch of beep.
No, critical reviews is we love all games.
I will be streaming it then. If Jimmy won't play it, then I will be streaming it.
If anybody is on Xbox and they want to play alongside Levi, please do. I'm just not a Fallout guy. I'm so sorry. I got burned out on 3, and I tried some of 4. Levi, you had me try it. It's like, it's okay. I can see where it's exciting. They've got like nuclear warheads that you can get a hold of, and you can blow people up if you want to.
I can't wait to see like if that's going to be destructible environments or.
Weirdly, the talk about it being 4 times bigger was very like off-putting to me because I feel like that's what happens at the beginning of like any new generation of like consoles where they're like, it's like 5 times bigger. It's like for me, the older I get, the less that's exciting because I think it was like Ghost Recon Wildlands that did me in because they would just be like, hey, we got a new objective. I'd be like, all right, where is it? And they'd be like, it's 16 kilometers that way. And I'm like, oh my gosh. So hopefully Fallout is like densely packed. Like 76 has just got so much stuff in it. One thing I know a lot of people were concerned about is like solo play, which they said you could still play solo, but it will always be online.
I'm down with that. I mean, that's okay.
Yeah, you don't care about that as much. You're not so worried.
I don't care about that. I mean, it's 2018. The time to bitch about games always being online is over. I mean, that's the world we live in.
Sure.
You want to play a game offline, grab your fucking Switch and go take it to the beach and go camping and, play Stardew Valley. But no.
Oh my gosh, that's great. I love this. This is a hot
Xbox
take.
players play online. PC,
or PlayStation.
PlayStation, PC. You play online for the most part.
If you're on PC and you're not playing online, well, I just applaud you at this point because I'm like, how did you do it? Did you go to GameStop and like buy a physical copy or something?
No, I feel like you brought up a good point. I feel like every game company with their new generational consoles, that's like their stick. That's like how they measure how big their stick is like, oh, well, Just Cause has this big of a map and it's on the PS4. And then it's like, well, Elder Scrolls 6 is coming out and it's size of Antarctica. Like, actually, that's not very big, but it's the fucking whole world. Like, yeah.
Speaking of games that are infinitely large, Halo Infinite, you talked about it briefly before I cut you off earlier.
Speaking of Antarctica.
No, speaking of Antarctica, Halo takes place in Antarctica. I think a fun way to open that show, didn't really show anything from it.
Fucking A.
But still, like Halo, it looks like, and there's 4. It seems to be a new thing. You show like you don't have to really talk about the game. They did this for Square Enix too. There's like Babylon's Fall. Show 4 characters walking around. Don't really explain what's going on. So that way, in everybody's mind, they can say, okay, so it's like a 4-person open world thing, right? So would you be okay if like Halo took a page out of Fallout 76's book and said like, hey man, you know what? Honestly, we're kind of doing the same thing. It's like Halo that you've known before, but your whole team.
No, I feel like that would tread too far into Destiny territory. Because Destiny already looks so much like Halo. Let's be real. It's got a lot of the same combat. It's got a lot of the same mechanics as Halo. No, I don't want that. I'd rather have multiplayer be separate, like they did with Halo 5. Have excellent multiplayer like that again, but give us a goddamn good story this time and make the best Halo you can. That's all they're missing. Halo 5 was fantastic, but nobody stuck around for it because the story was shit.
Yeah, that's true, I suppose.
And I mean, that's all they need. That's all you need. 343. Give us a good story. Give us, a great multiplayer experience like Halo 5 again, and people will be happy.
Sure.
It could revive Halo as we know it.
I think the problem is not so much the campaign, which I think does need to get better. I think it's just there's so many first-person shooters out there and people tire so quickly. I think that the Halo 5's multiplayer, though, was super duper good. It's very good. So it's like, I hope Halo Infinite is great. I don't know if this is like Halo 6 or if this is why I kind of theorized that they went from Halo 5 : Guardians to just be like, all right, we're not going to number it anymore. It's just going to be Halo Infinite.
Infinite makes me nervous, but it's infinitely online. No.
Yeah, well, that's where the money is right now. That's smart money. You get 4 buddies playing your game forever for as long as you can, or whatever. Anyway, all right. So Fallout 76. That's the one. That's one of the ones you're excited about.
Yeah. So we've got Pokemon, Fallout 76, Smash, and I got 2 more.
All right. Good. Well, it's my turn.
Oh, it's your turn. Okay, but I've got a
Back and-
curveball for you, and you're gonna be like, "What?"
Oh my gosh, it's gonna be like it's Fortnite on Switch. Sorry. No, if you're, by the way, if you're excited about Fortnite on Switch, I'm just messing with you. I'm actually just making fun of Levi here, so
It'll
don't
be
worry
fun.
about that.
Fun on the go little game.
Next up for me was one, and that Walmart Canada leak really did kind of kill me in a lot of ways.
That joke though. Ah!
Oh yeah, I'll say Bethesda was leaning into that. I will say this too, Bethesda. Not only were their devs like super excited and passionate, they're just like, "Yep, we want to kill Nazis everywhere you can." And I was like, "Yeah, like it's like yeah, you should want
Just be
to
real
do that."
about it. Just be like, "Yep, we're bringing it to the Switch for this reason."
Yeah, which is funny. We have like Halo Infinite and Doom Eternal, which are like kind of like the same. It's like the same looking dude. And you're like, okay, they both like it's like a forever type of thing. I do want to play that first Doom. I gotta go back to it. Anyway, what was I gonna say here? Oh yes, the leak kind of hurt me, but seeing Rico back, Just Cause 4, and oh my gosh, I watched gameplay of it today. That game looks gorgeous, like more than it ever needs to look gorgeous. And I'm just like, oh my goodness, it looks beautiful. And not only does it look better, and they've kind of, I think, worked from the ground up to make like new stuff, but they've like, there's way more grapples, and you can attach like your mines, and you can attach boosters to your grapples, so you don't have to do it like personally. You can attach balloons to stuff, and this all sounds really stupid, but once you put it all together, it's just massive carnage, mayhem, and fun. All I need is that co-op reveal, because what they said is that they wanted to take Just Cause 3 from the PC version, the one that was kind of like maybe, you know, quote unquote the best version, after they kind of fixed a lot of stuff and added a bunch of things, and use that as a base. So I'm really hoping Just Cause 4 is like all that added together into this new game. And I'm like, I don't know if you saw anything about Just Cause 4, Levi. Are you a Just Cause fan?
You know that I'm not a Just Cause fan.
Why not?
I don't like Saints Row games. Like, I just don't.
What do you mean Saints Row games?
Where you just run around and strap sheep to missiles and blow them up and send them to the moon. I don't.
I'm not strapping sheep to missiles. What do you think? I'm some
That's
sort of
what people-
monster?
That's what people do, though.
Okay.
I've seen it on YouTube. Like,
I could see that. I think the thing is like Just Cause is campy, where Saints Row is like straight up irreverent, you know. But like, there's no excitement about just like flying around like a beautiful world and blowing stuff up like that.
those games just don't do it for me.
It's like a
No.
pure video game. That's why I like it. I
Yeah.
just like it. Sometimes I don't need like a. I wish like that Rico would be a better character. I wish the story is more compelling, but it's hard to do that in this world.
Yeah.
However, sometimes I just don't want to play
You
like.
just want to blow shit up.
Yeah,
You just
also
want to watch the world burn.
I want to watch the world burn, and I want to be the one who likes the match. You know,
Yeah.
like that match. I'm just
Do
really
you,
excited
man?
about it.
You do you. I know you don't like when people say that, but
Oh,
not
gosh,
for me.
no.
But I will still. You know what? I will say that your stream of it was entertaining, so I'll be down to watch you play it.
The mayhem, Levi, is going to be to a new level with all those balloons. I've never been so excited about balloons. You can do this, Levi. You can put balloons on a thing, anything, and then you can like have that follow you, like whatever it is, in the air behind you for a little while. Isn't that stupid? It's great. I love it so much. Oh my
Can I
gosh!
put a balloon on a dog and have the dog follow me?
I don't know if there are any dogs. I hope not. I never really like to mess with the animals. It's
The
mostly
dog
like
doesn't get hurt, but the dog just is like your balloon buddy pal.
all I want is just co-op. If you and I could get in there together, I think we'd have a fun time, because it's one of those games where you and I would maybe start playing for like 5 or 10 minutes, be like, I'm gonna put like a half hour into this, and then be like 4 hours later, be like, all right, so what can we grapple together? And we'd be like, what could we grapple together? Be like, well, there's a plane back at that base. Let's
That
look at
is
plane,
the fun
you
thing
know?
about sandbox games. That is the fun thing. Yeah.
Well, that game doesn't really limit you on like in a Grand Theft Auto and stuff, unless you're doing like the cheats. There are so many more limitations. Whereas Just Cause, like pretty early on, they're like, whatever you want to do, man, go for it. And you're like, okay. And I just love that kind of pure video game experience to kind of cleanse the palate. So I'm excited about it. Again, nothing like super crazy as far as like a brand new IP. It's not like taking Just Cause in a bold new direction, but it just looks really good, and it kind of will build off of what I loved in 3. So
We're going back to ancient Mesopotamia.
exactly, Rico's like great grandfather, and he's just like running around with like a stick and just smacking stuff, and you're like, yeah. So that's Just Cause 4 is up there for me. All right, Levi.
Not to backtrack, but did you see that Ridley was released? Ridley was announced as a
Yeah, I said
playable.
that.
Okay. Oh, you did. Okay. I
And
literally
he-
turned on my Switch to like make fun of you because you were talking about Just Cause 4, and then I saw that pop up, and I was like, oh.
Yeah, he kills Mario and Mega Man.
finally, about time.
Yeah.
So this is gonna be a little bit of a curveball.
Uh-oh.
I think GreedFall looks really cool.
Wait, GreedFall?
GreedFall. It looks awesome. So
What?
GreedFall is exactly like what we wanted from Assassin's Creed 3. It's it's the native tribes versus these British kind of soldiers, and it looks awesome. Have you not seen this yet?
No.
I'm gonna have to show this to you.
I'll just explain it to me. Use your words.
So
I'll
yeah,
picture
it's like Assassin's Creed 3, except without Connor. You've got these Native American tribes fighting against these invading British soldiers, and it looks really cool.
Wait, did you say Assassin's Creed without Connor? Then guess what? I'm totally in.
We'll have to get your reception to it, your response to it, but it looks really cool.
Question: is it like a third-person action game? Like, what kind of game is it?
I haven't seen any gameplay yet, but just like the reveal for it, it's coming out for PS4, Xbox, and Windows. It's an RPG coming out in 2019. It's from Spiders Games. It looks sick.
So, did you just see a cinematic for it, or did you see?
Yeah, just a cinematic for it. Just the game reveal itself made me really interested.
Okay.
I'm gonna send it to you. We'll chat about it later.
Sure. Cool.
But it looks sick. Yeah.
GreedFall.
GreedFall. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Nice. All right. Well, GreedFall. I was not expecting that.
I know. I was like, I got a curveball for you because I watched the trailer and I was like, wow, this looks exactly like what Assassin's Creed, did.
Sure.
But without the shittiness.
Yeah, sure.
Until we don't know, but
yeah, that's true. All right. Oh goodness. I only wrote 3 down, and I've used my 4th.
Oh, just get it out of the way. Gears of War 5.
I will say this about Gears of War 5. I'm excited, to some extent, but I know what Gears is, and I'm excited for Kate in that story and all of that. It just wasn't like anything. I was like blown away. Like when Gears 4 came up, I was like, whoa, But Gears
like
5.
You brought up about Smash, are we getting to a point where enough is enough? I felt like Gears 4 was enough is enough. Where it's like, do we need to keep this story going? Do we need to keep milking this cow?
I think they've just gotten away from what the good stuff was, and that was like 1 through 3 in that time frame is the coolest one. And I will say this though, the reveal was really bad because they started with Funko Pop, which like killed everybody, and then they showed that tactics game, which is like Gears of War XCOM, which is cool. But then they showed Gears 5, and I was like, because they showed that Crimson Omen symbol, and I was like, and then they showed the Funko stuff, and I was like, are you kidding? Like,
it's like. I want to talk. I'm excited about Switch. I'm excited about Kingdom Hearts 3, all these sequels, but I just don't know what else you could do with this story. I mean, with Halo, they kind of wiped the slate clean for Cortana, and they started a new story spin off from there. But where are we going with Gears? What's left to do?
There's like cool story stuff that Kate is involved with. That she's actually, I think, the granddaughter of Queen Mira.
Robots. I don't care about robots.
I know the robots are dumb. I will completely give you that. The robots are stupid. Just bring me back like kind of Locust. I mean, they are, but they're not.
Jimmy, I remember playing with you Gears of War and that fucking lurker coming out and just being super scared. We're like, what the hell is that? You've never seen anything like it in an Xbox game before. Blew us away. The big spider. Spider thing. Yeah.
Like it's massive.
Yeah, right? That was awesome. That was such a cool thing. And then the Shriekers, Wreckers, what are they called? The little demon things.
You mean the Wretches?
Things. Wretches, yeah. Those scared the shit out of me.
Yeah, man. I remember Tim had that first, and I remember thinking like, wow, this game looks intense.
I would love to bring it back to that like horror kind of aspect.
Well, 4 kind of did. I don't know if you played through the campaign, but it kind of tried to do that, and there's some kind of creepy weird things in there, but it's just, I know it's not exactly the same. But man, Corpsters just I fondly look back. Anyway, no, I'm not gonna talk about Gears, even though I'm excited about Gears to some extent. It's tampered just because it's like it's an old friend. Old friend walks into the bar. It's like seeing Just Cause 4. I'm like, hey, Rico's here. I'm like, just a good, nice big hug. I will say though, for my number 4 is Cuphead DLC. No, I'm just kidding. Except that does look pretty. I was like, oh my gosh,
good.
I knew they were gonna do it, and then it was just like, oh, Mrs. Chalice or Miss Chalice. I was like,
Well, I've asked you a couple times here. I was like, did you think we're gonna get some Cuphead DLC? And you weren't sure, but
I thought after last week I was thinking like I think there's a good chance for it. It's just so hard for that, I would think, to make more of that stuff in a timely manner. But they were probably working on that like right after the game ship. They're probably like, all right.
They had that ready to go, I'm sure.
those people deserve so much, and I really want them to. I want them to flourish. I want them to make a full-fledged, like crazy third-person action game in that style, even though it wouldn't really lend itself. But yeah, also Microsoft like scooped up a ton of different little companies too, which was kind of a big deal. The biggest among them probably Undead Labs, who made State of Decay 2, and Ninja Theory, who just made Senua's Sacrifice. So it's like, oh, that's pretty interesting. But for number 4 for me, I'm sorry, I've been dragging it out for a little bit. You know what? I'm gonna say, Dragon Quest 11. I'm excited that it had a good enough showing. I think it's still kind of confusing if you weren't really positive about what that game is going into it, but I'm excited that game is getting a chance here in the West, and I really can't wait to play that game. It's super jolly, super fun. That's like that pure RPG experience, and I really can't wait to play that game. It's September 4th, I think, and yeah, it's a ways off, but man, I can't wait. I forget if you're a Dragon Quest guy at all, Levi.
I could have sworn you were going to say Neo 2.
No, I'm not going to do Neo 2.
Hey, Neo 2 looks cool, okay? That game deserves more credit.
Yeah, they just didn't do a wide shot of it. Oh, man, so stupid.
Yeah, I'm down to play. I never had a console to play a lot of Dragon Quest games, so I'm excited that it's coming to the PC at least. So.
Oh, is it coming to PC as well? It's PlayStation 4?
Is it? Or am I wrong? Isn't it coming to Xbox, or what's it coming to?
No, it's coming. I think it's. I thought it was a Sony exclusive.
Dragon Quest 11. I thought it was coming to the Switch too.
I thought there was. I think there is a Switch version. I should say. Sorry, there is a Switch version. Now that I think
and
about it.
3DS, which is gonna be weird.
Which I don't know if they're still doing that, if they're porting that version or not over here. I'd heard kind of because I thought I'd heard that they weren't going to do that. I'm not sure anymore. I'm not sure. Anyway, but yeah, Dragon Quest 11.
Yeah. However, I have to get my hands on it. Oh yeah, Microsoft's Windows, so it's going to come to Xbox too.
Is it really? I thought I'm pretty sure it's going to come to Windows, but I don't know if it's coming to Xbox.
Oh yeah, maybe not Xbox. Nintendo 3DS, PlayStation 4, Nintendo Switch, and Microsoft Windows. Yeah. However, I have to get my hands on it. I'm going to play this game.
Yeah, I think it's going to be sweet. All right.
That's your 4th?
That's my 4th. Hit me with a new one.
Okay.
And we don't have to do like 5.
I'm going to say Kingdom Hearts 3.
I thought we already talked about Kingdom Hearts 3.
Well, that wasn't part of... Well, whatever, yeah. Okay, Kingdom Hearts 3 I'm excited for.
You're excited about Frozen. You're excited about Elsa. Let it go.
No.
No, you're not excited about that?
If I have a choice to not help her.
But they just showed it off. They show like Ratatouille stuff. It's like all the Pixar stuff and Disney Animation Studios stuff. Like that's all this game is going to be, man. And friggin' Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End. It's so weird.
Way late on that.
Yeah, I thought it was strange. I was like, do you go back to Pirates? Like, see that kind of stuff. Like they're showing too much for me personally. I don't want to like if this is one of your games or so. I'm still really excited about it. I just don't want to see anything else. I'm like, please just.
I'm excited for Last of Us 2.
Oh, we're switching gears. Okay.
Yeah, I'm excited for Last of Us 2.
Why Last of Us 2?
Combat looks fun. Ellie's grown up a little bit. Yeah, they are pushing the gay agenda. Whatever. Needs to come to video games.
No, it's not an agenda, everybody. Not an agenda. Just
the gay agenda. I'm gay, by the way.
You can say that apparently.
Yeah. Combat looks fun. I'm excited to play. I'm excited to be in this world again.
I love that.
I'm sad that we're not going to be with Joel. Spoilers, 2012. Joe?
Why aren't you going to be with Joel?
He's dead.
How is he dead?
Oh, he's dead. Yeah.
They say like in that trailer, like that one guy was talking to. He's like, "Yeah, your old man was giving me quite the runaround or the tough time the other day." No, Joel's alive. He's alive.
People are going to go back now and play it. So, sponsored. Yeah, I'm excited for Last of Us 2.
You said the combat seems fun.
Yeah, combat seems really fun. It's got a lot of the same aspects as as Last of Us.
Sure. I wonder, because I know that like the way you played this is like you watched me play this game.
Oh yeah, it's gonna happen again. Yeah, you're gonna have to come over and play it. But cool. I will watch you have fun playing the game.
I think for me, I've always liked the combat in that better than Uncharted because it's much more visceral. However, I think it didn't hit as hard because, and I've said this before, but nothing exists in a vacuum. And I've seen so much Shadow of the Tomb Raider stuff, and it just felt like I was like, oh, it's another person creeping around in the tall grass with a bow and arrow. It was hard to like watch it and be like, whoa, look at this. Like I was kind of hoping they'd show something that would kind of be a little more awe-inspiring, but that's the whole point. It's supposed to be kind of gritty and realistic.
If you had shown 2013 Jimmy the trailer that we just saw on E3, you'd be stoked. You'd be super stoked.
Maybe, I don't know, was it after I played The Last of Us? Because after I played The Last of Us, I didn't want a sequel. I wanted it to be one and done. Like, because I thought that story was like really great and should just be itself. Because, you know, that's the fear of a lot of these kind of sequels is that like it won't live up to, you know, the predecessor. I'm excited. People are excited about it. I think the facial animations and stuff look incredible. I think the game looks really good. It's just that I think that game, for me personally, isn't like something that's really going to stick with me after a big showcase like this, because I was like, oh, it's just like people fighting with guns and machetes and stuff. It's brutal for sure. Yeah. You know what? And that was what other game?
Much more fluid though. Like watching the gameplay looked much more fluid for the combat.
Yeah, that's true. It's very Walking Dead, which I was just like, which they didn't show any clickers, which I was like, oh, you know what? I thought for sure at the end there's gonna be clickers running in or whatever. But yeah, we'll see. Oh well. Okay. So that's one of your one of the ones you're most excited about. Next up for me, we'll just stick with Sony for a second. Ghost of Tsushima. That's a game I'm really excited about.
Where's my Switch?
Ghost of Tsushima is made by the same group who's done the infamous game Sucker Punch. Now, I've always kind of had an issue with the floatiness of the characters or the actual combat in those games because it's never been super good for Melee, Levi. It's not like super great. But I don't know how much you saw of this, but it looks pretty sweet. Like they showed off like a bit of the game, and the combat seems like pretty solid. It seems like, you know, one or two sword swings is going to kill a person. You're not going to have to like hack away at them for hours or anything. And it seems like there's a lot of depth in that sword play potentially, which I'm really excited about. And also the game looks freaking gorgeous. Like, oh my gosh, like the stream doesn't do it justice. If you ever like try to watch it live, like you got to go find like that really high res version.
Was this the deal with the dude with the piccolo in E3?
Yes, that was, which was so stupid because they brought out just like a white dude with a beard to play this Japanese flute, which is like, they did that. And then before Last of Us, they had a guy with a banjo come out and play. Like the guy who did the music for those games was like, why, just too much music, guys. Like, okay. Anyway,
E3's getting all about that music.
Yeah, which was weird, you know, seeing this trailer because even though I think it looks gorgeous, it was like after that and after seeing Shadows Die Twice, or I think it's Sekiro, that they had over From Software's new game that they showed at Microsoft, it's like Japanese grapple hooks are in, baby. And every good game's got a grapple hook, so I'm excited to see they both have it. But it was cool to see the very like Arkham-esque style of like him kind of, he climbed up somewhere, there was some stealth combat, he dropped down, and it was very much like Shadow of Mordor, where you can kind of like, you drop down, you kill a dude, and then you like flash and like jump over to a guy. Like he just moves really quickly and like stabs a few people, takes them all out. But man, this game looks so good. It looks so good. And it looks like it's trying to be historically accurate or kind of grounded, realistic. There wasn't any like magic or anything. It wasn't like Neo, like you were talking about before, Levi. And I'm just really excited about that game because I think it like makes me excited to have a PlayStation 4. Like it was something I haven't seen yet and something I've kind of always wanted. I wanted Assassin's Creed to get to it, but maybe Assassin's Creed just wait 2 or 3 years and let Ghost of Tsushima do this first. But yeah, man, I can't wait. I can't wait.
What was the game that From Software announced? You just talked about?
It's called Sekiro, or it's like Sekiro, or I think it's like maybe pronounced Sekiro.
Is it in the Souls? Is it like a Souls game?
It is like a Souls game. You know, that kind of punishing combat, but your guy kind of lost his arm, and so he kind of has like a grapple arm, so he can kind of shoot it out and do different stuff with it. So he kind of was like jumping around the area and doing stuff. But it's definitely Souls. You can tell by those weird animations of their characters. But yeah, that's that other one. So it's kind of like that. Or if you want more of like kind of a realistic version, Ghosts, I think is like that. So if you want more of a fantastical version, there's like Shadows Die Twice. But yeah, Ghost of Tsushima, man, like you should look that up. It looks so good.
I just looked it up. It looks cool.
It's so pretty. Also, like he draws his sword and kills a dude, and I'm like, yes. Like I love that sort of thing. That's like, yeah. Anyway, that's the thing for me out of that press conference. I really love Spider-Man, but Spider-Man's coming out.
I was going to say, are you going to mention Spider-Man? Yeah.
I want to mention it briefly. It's kind of in the same boat as Dragon Quest because like they're both coming out like within a few days of each other in September. That game looks beautiful. It reminds me of like the first time I saw Arkham Asylum, because he's like fighting on a like in the prison of the Raft from Marvel. And when I saw that original, I was like, oh my gosh, I was like, is it gonna be him? And it's like, yeah, it's Spider-Man. So not only is it showing like a cool place, but it's not like actually in New York proper. So it's like a mission area. And I was like, that's really cool. And they showed off a bunch of villains that I know and love. And I was really excited about it. And they're basically building up a Sinister Six with Mr. Negative being on that team, not being the main villain. And the last villain was about to come into the shot, and then they cut away. And I was like, are they gonna like Peter or Spider-Man was looking at him? My theory is it's Green Goblin. It's gotta be. He's gotta be. Goblin's gotta be here because they've teased Norman. It's the time. Oh my gosh, because I was so worried because like even though this game looks incredible, I was like, Mr. Negative, who's this guy? And then they showed like Scorpion, and then they showed Electro, and then they showed Rhino, and then they showed Mr. Negative was there, and then who was the fifth one? Oh, Levi, who was Vulture's there. I was like, whoa! I was like, they were really cranking these out. And I was like, oh, thank goodness! Like even though we didn't see Avengers like this year, the fact that the Spider-Man universe thing is going to be built out, there's going to be a Wakandan embassy in New York. Avengers Tower, I think, is even going to be there. But just to have the hint of more and actually more villains.
Heroes? Do you think?
Huh?
Do you think we're gonna do you think Captain's gonna just jump out at some point? Do you think Black Panther's gonna?
Well, people have joked that it's going to be Iron Man who's showing up for Sinister Six. I don't think they'll do any of that though. And if it is, it's going to be fleeting because they want this to be about Spider-Man. You don't want to be like, oh, when's Hulk going to show up to save the day? So
is okay. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I just that game looks incredible. Now people are talking about the attention to detail in The Last of Us Part 2. Mm-hmm. The attention to detail in Spider-Man is right up there because watching him flip through the world, he jumps up onto a railing and then he flips off it in just like the perfect Spider-Man way. It's incredible. It's like, oh my gosh.
That's going to be the game that gets me to buy a PS4.
It's butter, man. That game is silky, flippin' smooth, and I cannot wait. And the combat, like I said, it's very Arkham-esque, but you're Spider-Man, so you kind of, in a way, have an edge up on Batman just because you're so much faster and stronger. Like, he takes a shield away from a dude, whereas Batman would kind of jump up and kind of, like, smash that guy with the shield. So Spidey will take the shield away, swing it around, and take out 2 or 3 dudes with it. And it's like, he's sliding under dudes' legs, like, punching him in the back, just so hard to fight Spidey. I'm like, oh, so cool. Yeah. I can't wait for Spider-Man. But because it's coming out so soon and I've seen so much of that game, it wasn't the same impact as Ghost was. I was like, oh, Ghost of Tsushima, man. Mm-hmm. Wow. All right, Levi, hit me with the last one.
Jump Force.
Oh my gosh, Levi, yes. Yes.
Jump frickin' Force.
Yes.
Give me Goku beating the shit out of Naruto any day. I'm down. I'm freaking down.
So Levi, I was watching this trailer, and at first I thought I think it's like One Piece's new ship. It kind of looked like Cone from Bleach. Yeah. I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, what is it, like Ichigo? And then they showed like Naruto. Yeah. I was like, you gotta be kidding me.
Ichigo will be in there. Bleach has to make its way in because it's shonen. So
yeah, I think they will. He's just not as popular.
Yeah.
I think this game looks so cool, and I've been telling this to other people, but with Dragon Ball FighterZ, people were like, oh man, this is like the Dragon Ball game that like they always should have been. But I always thought the Budokai Tenkaichi series, the one where it's like the bigger open maps, I think later on they would do that. But I love that, like a huge open world to fight in, like a big area. That's what this is, but with like Naruto and Goku and Frieza and like Luffy.
I can't believe the freaking art style is so realistic for a fighting game.
It looked okay. Yeah, that's the thing too. It looks okay. Sorry, you should talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. This is your game. I don't want.
This is our joint fifth effort talk. Okay, discussion because we're both super excited about this, but it looks so realistic. I love it.
If it looks the way, and they like showed some gameplay, I think.
Yeah.
It looked just like.
I'm watching a demo of it right now.
It looks like the cinematic, and if it looks, Levi, does it look just like the cinematic did?
It looks just like the cinematic.
Then like sign me up because it looked bonkers. And yeah, they're fighting in Times Square. Who cares? Let them fight wherever. I don't care. I was like, oh my gosh.
This isn't supposed to make sense, people. This is supposed to let us live out a couple of fantasies, okay?
When I get to see Ace from freaking One Piece and Sasuke like going toe to toe or side by side, forget about it. If I could take Sasuke and like cut Frieza in half,
done. They're not talking a lot about rosters. How many characters from each game series you feel like they're gonna pull?
Probably
Couple?
start with like 3 or 4.
How big
know?
do you think the roster is gonna be? Smash big?
See, here's the thing. No, I mean Smash is like insane right now. Like, let's go back to the first Smash or some of these other games like it. So the first Smash had like 12. I would guess somewhere like 20 to 25 characters, maybe.
Yeah.
But the fact that they tease at the very end, freaking Light Yagami and Ryuk from Death Note standing on top of a building, I was like, what are they just gonna be in the game? Are they gonna? Is Ryuk gonna fight? I was
just
like,
be like Frieza and just.
How is like that is like the hype moment, and that is another like pure video game just to be a video game. Like there's not going to be like a story that's like, oh my god, Naruto and Goku, like they've lost so much together, but like to see those two characters interact potentially, come on, like it's gonna be so.
I'm so pumped about this. And is this a 2018 game or is this?
Ooh, I don't know if it's. I think it's a 2019 game.
Yeah.
I think so, at least. Yeah, but I'm just, man, I'm excited because like that is a game that's like, oh boy, like the potentials are probably limitless, and the DLC for it is almost hand-tyingly tight. Like I just if they later on introduce like freaking Zabuza or like Kakazu or something, or like a Orochimaru fighting like Frieza, like that is a fight like I want to be a part of. Like that is something I'm excited about. Or freaking just Ichigo in there somewhere. Gotta be right. Yeah, I'm excited for that game. Jump Force, one of the craziest things for Microsoft to show off, and I was like, heck yeah, baby.
What a crazy! I mean, compared to last E3, which I felt I was very let down from last year.
Oh, really?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm much happier with the announcements from this year. So.
What's the last thing you want to say about Jump Force or character you want to see that makes you hyped or anticipated?
Give me a Bleach character. Just that'd be so. Uryu running around with your bow, like that'd be so fun.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure
Scaling
there's
walls,
shonen,
like yeah.
Right? Yeah, I thought there was another big shonen anime. I don't know exactly all the allegiances and stuff, but who cares? You know, even if it's not in shonen,
They just throw Pokemon in there too.
Oh man, if I could play Smoker from freaking One Piece. Anyway, all right, cool. Last game I want to talk about. I was confused at first. I actually made a highlight of it over on our Twitch channel, but I've come around. The time has come, and so have I. Devil May Cry 5. Let's go, baby. I am all on
now
board.
Now you're into it. Okay.
Yes, okay. Here's the problem. If you've seen this trailer and you watch me watch it, at first I thought it was Resident Evil 2 remake, which makes no sense, but because it's like Capcom, I was like, oh, maybe that's what it is. Yeah. Which I was like, man, I haven't played that game, so I don't really know like what's in it. They got to it, and when they showed Nero at first, I was really concerned because I thought, oh my god, is this Devil May Cry 2 or DMC 2, I should say. And I was like, oh no. But now that I've had more time to look it over, I feel like between that coupled with like his new partner, who is I've never heard of before, or at least I'm not really familiar with, I was like, and they didn't show like Dante until the very end, and they kind of cut to the wide, but the combat looks sick. I've seen a little bit more of it. They did make it photorealistic, and they actually had Itsuno come out and talk about that he's been working on it for 4 years. He's really excited about it, and he's like, yeah, you know, we're making photorealistic looking outfits and stuff. Don't be worried, it's going to feel and play
drastic
really well.
Stylistic change. Drastic.
I think it's kind of like the middle ground between DMC and Devil May Cry 4. Like, Devil May Cry 4 is kind of a little more fantastical. DMC tried to be kind of gritty and edgy, and I feel like this is kind of that middle ground. And I think the other thing that really threw me, because in the beginning of the trailer, they show that Nero has, he's lost his Devil Bringer arm, and now he's got these robot arms, or this robot arm called like the Devil Breaker. They might be different ones they can change out. That freaked me out. I thought they were going like more steampunk. But at the end of the trailer, or kind of 3/4 of the way through, they show that his arm was taken from him, which I'm working on a Devil May Cry 5 trailer breakdown, and I have theories, but it makes more sense and makes me feel better knowing that there's a reason why they didn't just be like, hey, screw that stupid demon arm, let's give him a robot arm. I was like, ugh. So I am really excited about Devil May Cry 5. I can't wait to get going next year. Let's go. I'm on board. I've been listening to that song, Devil Trigger, just like almost nonstop. I love it. I'm in, baby. Let's go. I don't even care. I'm excited. Are you excited all about Devil May Cry, Levi?
I don't know enough about the series, but I'm excited to see you play it.
Okay.
And then if I like what I see, then I might pick it up and get into it. But
that's okay. Hey man, if you want to play Fallout 76, I'll play Devil May Cry, or we could just play both. You can play both, maybe. Yeah, well, I think that's going to do it for basically our E3 stuff that we're going to talk about today, at least for our kind of games we're the most hyped about. Levi, is there anything else you want to mention before we move on?
No. Yeah, let's move on.
Cool. Before we get into the next segment of the show, I'm just going to take a 15-minute break. Levi and I are actually going to move locations, and then we are going to sit down and we're going to talk about the rest of the show. So get ready for that. Okay, wasn't that quick and fun, huh? Did you guys all like that? That's right. Sony, not forgiven. Why would you waste my time like that? That's a bunch of BS. I get it. We're all in the church. That Last of Us 2. No, don't do that. All right? No, Sony. No. Anyway, Levi, it's time to get into that show that I like to call, that you like to call, that we like to call.
Hold up. It's coming. It's got to build up. Time wizards?
Timekillers.
Timekillers.
Yes.
I was going to say time crunchers.
Welcome to Time Crunchers.
It's my new favorite cereals, time crunchers.
Yeah. Levi, what have you been killing time with, man? What are the movies you've been watching or games you've been playing?
I have not had a lot of time, actually. I've been playing a lot of Pokemon Go. Jimmy's been vlogging the experience. I don't know if you guys will ever, if that vlog will ever see the light of day, but
I am working on it. E3 came out of nowhere. By out of nowhere, I mean they planned it months in advance. So.
And Jimmy wasn't prepared. No, I've been playing a lot of Pokemon Go. It's been nice to, be nice outside and go raid with people. And I went to a Mewtwo raid yesterday. 40 freaking people showed up. It was nuts. There was like 3 different groups. The game's still live and kicking. So, no, I've just been doing that. We play a little bit of World of Warcraft here. Yeah, not much. I've been watching Pokemon just before I go to bed. So I've had really much time for it lately. So
fair enough.
How about you, buddy?
Over here, like I said, I was watching all those E3 press conferences, so I've been streaming a ton. So that's kind of been like my game. But I will say this: I did pick it up, and I don't know if we'll do a full review of this. I've been working on a review in progress for it. Jurassic World Evolution came out, and it is basically a Jurassic Park simulation game where you get to run the park. There are 5 different islands, and I've just gotten access to the second one, and it's really fun. I will say that it seems like there's kind of peaks and valleys as far as like, well, maybe it's more of like plateaus, but you kind of just, it's very calm once you get your park pretty set up, but sometimes things can go wrong, and that's where like the panic comes in. So there's like high moments of tension that are here and there, but I'm pretty early on, so maybe later on in the game that'll happen. But I actually like let a dinosaur out and let it, take out a few visitors just to see what would happen. But yeah, it's really fun.
Is it worth the $60?
The presentation is pretty high, and there's a lot of cool stuff in there. Jeff Goldblum's in there as one of the voices, is actually Dr. Ian Malcolm. It's really funny because he doesn't seem like he's playing that. He's just playing himself, because the way he delivers the lines are very much like they just sat him in a room with him and just said, read him however you want. But so the overall presentation is definitely there. I think if you like simulation type games like this, it's not going to be as crazy as maybe like a Roller Coaster Tycoon is. If you like want to build your own roller coasters and rides, it's more about making the enclosures for these animals and making it the coolest way for people to actually witness them, and actually seeing the dinosaurs, taking care of the dinosaurs, getting to ride around in your Jeep or your helicopter. You can fly them, you can trank dinosaurs and all that to heal them. That's pretty sweet. So I think it's there if you really love the Jurassic franchise and you like these kind of park management games, which I do, and I just haven't played one in a while. So I got really addicted to it because there's like this definitely repeating process of like sending people out to get fossils, and then you can extract DNA from those fossils, and you can change how your dinosaurs look. And there's a lot to it. There's and a really good just a way of representing that.
Sorry.
And you're done. Timekillers. But besides that, we're going to see Incredibles 2 tomorrow.
Levi. I wanted to ask you, who was your favorite press conference?
Microsoft. They just kept it coming. Yeah, man. I just thought the fact that they just kept showing game after game after game, that's just what I like to see in a press conference, personally.
I think the most unique press conference was how horrible and horrid and cringy Bethesda started, and we were all just like, what is this? And then watching Rage, we were all like, what is this? I mean, granted, okay, Andrew WK, if you don't know who he is, he actually has a huge following. He's got a big party anthem song. Everybody knows the song. It's Party, Party, Party. Okay. Why here? I get it that he's going to be doing the song for that game, but it was just out of left field. And the show started really weird. And we were all like on our faces. You can see it. We were like, yikes. Finally, we get into, Todd Howard's charisma, and he saved the whole show. And then their release of games was a good slew of release. Like, we finally heard from Elder Scrolls,
I'll take Andrew WK over moving your entire room of press of 200 people or whatever for 15 minutes to another place. That is ridiculous. I'm sorry. It makes me very angry. I love the cringe, but not that. They cut away to a desk of people. It was like the after show. I was like, well, that was it. Last of Us 2. That's all we've got this year, baby. All right.
Yeah.
Levi, we're moving into my favorite segment of the show, though, to make me feel a little bit better, community feedback and questions. And I had asked our Legionnaires to tell me what exactly was their favorite game of E3. I think that's exactly what I asked them. Yeah, we wanted to know what it was. Lynn Redder says Skull and Bones, which I absolutely love. More people are getting jazzed on Skull and Bones. I really like to see that. Sean Fragadin, our buddy, said Devil May Cry 5 and Resident Evil 2 Remake, which, Levi, you're not a huge Resident Evil fan. So, and I'm not either. So I understand that people are really excited about it, but if we don't mention that, Resident Evil 2 Remake is coming. It looks very pretty. Everybody, it's fine. Beating out Brian, Resident Evil 2 Remake is easily top of the pile for me. He said Setiko, or that Shadows Die Twice, Ghost of Tsushima, Last of Us 2, Cyberpunk, Beyond Good and Evil 2, which looked pretty interesting. Devil May Cry 5 and Gears all looked superb too. The Goblinoid said Last of Us Part 2, Spider-Man, Ghost of Tsushima, Shadows Die Twice, Cyberpunk, Smash Brothers, Hollow Knight, Unravel 2. And Ryan said Devil May Cry 5, Pokemon Let's Go. And, of course, Super Smash Brothers Ultimate! Like he said it.
Yes.
He said it like that, which was pretty good. And I feel like I have another one on my phone here, but are you surprised by any of those, Levi? Is there any? I feel like there's
not
a few
at all.
Repeated.
Not at all. That's a great, yeah. Resident Evil, I'm interested because 7 wasn't actually horrible. I liked it. I played it.
Did you beat 7?
I don't know if I beat 7. I can't remember. I think I did. It was kind of a short game. It scared the heck out of me. But
would you play it in VR?
Hell no. Are you kidding? I want to keep my pants as clean as possible.
Would you stream it in VR?
No. I don't know. I mean, like, stop with these ports in VR. Nobody cares. Skyrim in VR.
Yeah, exactly. Which they made that kind of joke. It's coming to Etch-a-Sketch and stuff.
Best joke. Alexa Skyrim. That's so great.
I found it. It was Missile Mage. He said he's much more hyped on Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Ghost of Tsushima, and Spider-Man than he was before. The Last of Us 2 might make him play The Last of Us 1 again. Still excited for everything I was excited for before.
Assassin's Creed Odyssey?
Assassin's Creed, you didn't see anything about that? It's like they made the game for me, or for the Legion, because it's like Greco-Roman. You're back in Greece playing as either a male or female protagonist in Assassin's Creed, and it looks really pretty.
Why wasn't this on your list?
I'm excited about it, but I tried to keep my list more so to things that are like new for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I played through like all the Assassin's Creed games. So like watching it, I was like, oh, I see a lot of Origins DNA in there. And I was hoping they'd take the year off, but because they work on typically 2 or 3 games at a time, maybe next year or the year after that, they'll actually take a year off. So
is Odyssey coming out this year?
October 5th.
Oh my God, this year is so stacked.
I was like, so I got to beat that. And then Red Dead Redemption 2 comes out at the end of the, I'm like, oh,
ooh, and I'm excited for that. Yeah.
Which you are you are in our posse, Levi. I don't want to hear it.
I'll be in your posse. You show me how to ride a horse and I'll do it. Yippee-ki-yay.
Press A. Yeah. All right. First question comes in from, believe it or not, Missile Mage. Do you think we're starting to see some Sony arrogance between the huge intermission during the conference and being incredibly stubborn over crossplay? This year seems less about gamers and more about Sony doing stuff for themselves. # critical podcast. Levi, do you think so?
Yeah, absolutely. And I don't think they have anything to be arrogant about. I mean, you still don't have a great IP list available. I mean, you've got Gears, you've got God of War, but that's not your savior.
Yeah, and I know that we should probably mention Death Stranding is there too, as that other game. But
Is it though?
when they said, and I don't remember if Sean Layden said this because I know some people were kind of giving me kind of flack for this, but I said like I thought when they were going to do like a deep dive on these 4 games, they didn't really like for some of them they just showed a lot, which is nice. But I kind of wanted the devs to come out and show the devs being excited, like they did for Bethesda. I thought that was really cool, to have them come on. Or Ubisoft, they did the same thing, which freaking the guy from Trials. And
Did we see Death Stranding? Did they show anything about it? Is that Norman Reedus?
Yeah, they did.
Okay.
It's a lot of walking around with boxes, and that's pretty much all they show.
People are so hyped about this game. It's just vaporware. Like
it's just people love Kojima, and I didn't play through all the Metal Gear games, so I don't have that kind of like blindness for him. But I will say this: I talked to some people recently who are big Kojima fans, but they themselves even said they felt that Kojima fatigue. And they weren't like this is from the Ombra Gaming. I was on their podcast; it'll be up next week. But their leader was saying he's like huge fan. He's like, yeah, but even I'm like, show me something. So I wanted them to talk. It would have been cool if Kojima like he was there. So I don't know why he didn't come up on stage, but it would have been nice for them to just talk about the game a little bit more. And even in their like they did like a press thing afterwards with Jeff Keighley on YouTube Gaming or whatever, or YouTube Live, and they talked about it, but they didn't. There was nothing new, no new information really. It was just, but. Yeah, I think Sony's getting a little arrogant, and I feel like it almost seemed like their conference was slapdash a little bit. Also, following up, Miss LeMage had another late question, but we kind of talked about this. What's your opinion on yearly releases for franchises like Assassin's Creed? I think we both kind of were okay if they, wait, let them cook. Having something new every year is nice, but do you think it impacts quality over having a year to work on something? Would I prefer them to let the games cook longer? Yeah, for me, like I said, there's usually like 2 or 3 groups working on those Assassin's Creed games, so it's not like sometimes they can be drastically different because some of these guys work on a game for like 3 years at a time. But I think it works easier for sports games, right, Levi? Like you can put out a Madden or FIFA and just change up the roster a little bit, add some.
Which I didn't see much of that at E3.
EA had a pretty. EA did it.
EA did it.
EA did it.
EA did it. Yeah, they definitely did do that, and I was like, that's fine.
What about Paladins? Cricket.
Oh yeah, they're selling that on Switch, right?
Yeah, it's gonna be on Switch, and it's definitely a Overwatch ripoff. So,
well, it's not. I played a little bit of it. It's a bit different, but there are similarities for sure. Even though it's that kind of DC versus Marvel thing, where it's like if Paladins even came up with it first, Marvel will just make it more popular, and it's just like.
One of my favorite YouTube videos is this dude talking about the similarities between Paladins and Overwatch. He's like, "There's no one in Overwatch with a big shield that comes out." And he's like, "Oh wait."
There's no one with a hook and like a shotgun.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Was he saying that they are like ripping off Overwatch?
Yeah, like he just all the characters that they were ripping off, and then he was just dying laughing about it. I'll show it to you. It's funny.
Last question comes in from our good friend Ryan Lehman, who was with us for a lot, and a lot of the people who we've gotten feedback from recently were with us for all the Twitch streams and stuff of E3, which I really appreciate. Thank you guys. It was a lot of fun. He said, "Are there any games you wanted to see at E3 that you didn't?" Levi?
I wanted to see Halo. I mean, we saw the engine, but I really wanted to see actual Halo.
Did you think it was Arc 2? I thought it was Arc 2 at first. I was like, is this Arc 2?
Nervous. Like I was like, damn, this looks good if it's Arc 2. I would have liked to see, Avengers would have been nice.
Dude, yes, thank you. I was gonna talk about that.
Anything, like some concept art or anything. I don't care. Feel like they're keeping that under their chest for next year. Maybe there's a reason why they can't come out with it this year due to story reasons.
Keeping it under their chest. I like it.
Yeah. Yeah.
2 games. Final Fantasy VII Remake. Where is it? Like seriously, show us something. If Square is gonna do like a direct like Nintendo and they haven't done anything like it for years, like come on now, show something.
I mean, that's Final Fantasy 15 all over again. We're gonna wait another 10 years for it.
Yeah, well, the problem is like they showed off how gorgeous that game is, and they're probably like, we're gonna have to make this into like 3 or 4 games if we're gonna do like all of this. It's like, it's too much. Also, lastly, and I think I mentioned it earlier, my boy Sam Fisher is the sneakiest guy because he was seen nowhere. Splinter Cell was shown and not talked about anywhere at E3, and I'm like, he's got to be coming to Gamescom. He's got to be.
I was gonna say maybe Gamescom.
Oh, Levi, seriously. Also, looking up, I have Command & Conquer 3 Tiberium Wars right there. I think that's what it is. Command & Conquer as a mobile game, EA? What the heck? It's Command and Conquer for a new generation. I was like, oh no.
Colton's so pissed. We're very big Red Alert fans, and
how I was watching it and they're like, oh, he came out with a mammoth tank, and I was like, oh, is this like some sort of Command and Conquer thing? And I was like, yep. And that's like, I was like, oh, maybe they'll show another Command and Conquer like RTS that's coming out. No, this is the mobile game, and they spent like 5 or 10 minutes doing like an esports thing of it. I was like, you've got to be kidding me. Like, also Star Wars. I wish we could have seen the Star Wars Respawn game. Vince Sampella sitting in the crowd. Andrew Renee was kind of talking to him, and I was like, I wish we could have seen it. Jedi Order could be cool.
Oh, I was going to talk to you about that. Yeah, what did you think about that?
I wanted more, and at least it wasn't a dev diary, but I kind of wish, like, at the same time, I didn't, like, know about it. Like, I know it's happening, but, like, to just talk to him in the crowd and not even have him go up on stage with, like, a title.
No.
I don't know. It just seemed weird, but hey, man, set in between episode 3 and 4, Jedi Purge time. Oh, yeah, Darth Vader. He's showing up for sure. It's going to happen. I love it. All right. Well, believe it or not, Levi, I think that's going to do it for us this week. If you guys ever have a question or a topic you want us to cover, or heck, even a guest you want us to have on the show, all you have to do is tweet the hashtag Critical Podcast. You can tweet it at us. I'm at Go Critical. You can find, or at least the official account there, G and C, capital G and C. Or you can tweet right at me. I'm at JimmyGood013. If you want to tweet something at Levi, though, personally, if you want to ask him about something, and be like, Levi, what do you like?
I am at Levi Fletcher.
There you go. I was gonna
try to Sorry, I had a niche on my leg.
I was gonna say, what would they ask you? They'd be like, Levi, what's your least favorite Gen 1 Pokemon route? No, I'm just kidding. I'm like, well, I don't know. Is it route
29?
Exactly. Yeah, just sitting there. It's like, that's real bad. Yeah, and like I was talking about earlier, we stream a ton on Twitch, even reactions to shows and stuff like that. So check us out on twitch.tv/critical reviews, and Levi even streams there from time to time as well. So if you like his face, then you can go and stop by there. That was really good. I want to thank a few people. I want to thank This Is Dale for our intro and outro music, and I want to thank the one and only Jorn Evers for doing pretty much all the artwork you see here on the show. We did a Splinter Cell wish list you should check out, where he did the cool transition art in there. It's basically like a comic book. It's super duper good. And actually, believe it or not, Jorn's working on a comic book right now because he's not taking commissions. And this is one he wants me to tell you about it. The synopsis. When David opens a mysterious box that transforms his arm into an alien weapon, he at first uses it for good to right the wrongs of his high school. But as more of his body is transformed, he finds that playing God comes with its own set of new, self-destructive perils. And he says basically at its core, it's like Venom meets Chronicle. So if you want to see updates on that, check him out at Niraj28 or at Jade Circle Art on Twitter. Go check out his Instagram as well. But if you want to support Jorn and you want to get some of that art, even though it's not a commission, and you want to help us out at the same time, check us out on patreon.com/critical reviews. Throw us $1, throw us $5, throw us any amount that we have predetermined if you want. If you enjoyed this sort of thing, and you can get your beautiful face on one of our avatars. And at the $75 tier, you can actually customize it. I know I've been saying $100 tier, but actually it's the $75 tier. At $100, we will take that avatar and show it on every episode, and we will say a little blurb, anything you want to say. You know, any little motto, any little thought you have, we'll say it on every podcast. But yeah, I think that's going to do it. Levi, thank you so much for being on the show. So much fun to talk with you about E3. We could talk about this for hours, seriously.
We could go on for hours,
but we're gonna limit it because we got to get ready for Incredibles 2, which is coming up tomorrow, and then you're gonna be back on next week, so we can talk about that, right? Yeah, you gotta have him back.
What, Incredibles 2 is tomorrow?
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Yeah. It's tomorrow.
And video.
Bye, guys. Yeah. Anyway, thank you everybody for watching. Like I had mentioned earlier, I was on the Umbra Gaming podcast. So next week, or you should check them out because they're pretty cool guys. I will be over there. So if you like me and my voice, that is where I will be. But we'll also have another podcast next week too. Anyway, thank you so much for stopping by. And just remember to adapt and overcome.